Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot, or of course, welcome to the channel if you're brand new here. For those of you familiar with my readings, of course, as you can tell, the desk is quite different today, and that is because today is the very first day of what I call Yuletide Peace Week 2024. So from December 16th through December 20th, 5 days in a row, we're going to have Yuletide themed tarot readings to help bring some serenity to our busy holiday season this month. So thank you so much for joining me today for the first day. As you can tell by the title you just clicked on, our theme today is Hark, Your Guardian Angels Sing, which of course is a guardian angel message. So without further ado, let us pick our pile leaders to choose our messages with. So guardian angels of everyone watching this collectively, please guide us to the right angel cards that will help us choose the right piles. Okay, and then for pile number ones, we have the very simple No, the angel of No. There we go. And for pile twos today, let's pick this one. We have the angel of very beautiful blessings and abundance. And for pile three, I'm drawn to this one. This is the angel of take a step back. So just to reiterate, for pile one, we have the angel of No. For pile two in the middle, we have the angel of blessings and abundance. And for pile three over here on the right, we have take a step back. Now, of course, you're always welcome to pause on this part of the reading if you need more time to decide what angel is, well, calling to you most right now. But whenever you are ready, you can drop down to the description box or the top pinned comment below. Find the timestamp there for your pile, and I'll see you in our little chat from your guardian angels, a message they want you to hear most right now. A healing message, more specifically. So I will see you there. Toodaloo. Hello there, my lovely pile number one. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about a message from your guardian angels. As you recall, the angel you chose today for your pile was the angel of No. And of course, it's pretty straightforward of a message. It's about guarding our energy. It's about having the confidence and the power to say no. Specifically, we can see it looks like there's almost water leading off of their hands. Like water off of a duck's back is kind of the phrase that comes to mind when I look at this card. Letting something go. Being okay to say no. But let's grab some more cards and glean more details about what message the guardian angels are giving you today. So, we have two oracle decks to draw from right off the bat. So, guardian angels for pile number one. Could you please come forward with a healing message for them using the oracle cards that we're drawing? Alright, there's this one. And we have from the Soul Mirror Oracle, cultivation with the keywords neglected versus nurtured. There's some hands before a heart holding what looks like to be some sort of plant. I can't tell quite what it is, but so cultivation, neglected versus nurtured. Very interesting. And then we'll use the Healing Spirits Oracle today for the last oracle card. There we go. Beautiful. Number 44. And it says down here, there is so much more to you than you think. Okay, so pile number one. We'll draw the tarot cards in a little bit, but right now what I want to focus on first is the message surrounding the oracle cards that came out. Now, what I am seeing here is a lot of shared symbolism around protecting oneself, nurturing oneself, and believing in oneself. Those are kind of the three areas we're seeing here from each of the cards that came forward. So there's something that your guardian angels want to talk to you about when it comes to these areas of your life, okay? There could be something that you've been neglecting lately, that you've not been nurturing enough, maybe at the sacrifice of yourself, or for the reason of, you know, not wanting to disappoint people is a very common reason we feel like we can't say no, or maybe feeling like there's some sort of gain to be derived from, excuse me, gain to be derived from going along with something, not realizing how much it's really taking out of us, right? You know, say we have a project at work that is very grueling, and we think, oh man, if we could just do this perfectly, this one thing perfectly, think about the rewards that I will reap. But what your guardian angels are saying here is really think about what it's taking from you to nurture everything but yourself. Okay, how much of a balance do you have in life versus neglecting versus nurturing yourself? Could also mean that there is some sort of project going on that, you know, maybe you put something on the back burner for something else, and so you've sacrificed in this one area versus the other, and your guardian angel might come forward today to say, hey, wait a minute, pay more attention to this thing that you've kind of put on the back burner for a while, because there's something to be gained here, or you don't really want to let that go fallow, right? And there's a self-confidence message as well here too, with there's so much more to you than you think. And I absolutely love, well, pretty much every card in that deck. It's a beautiful deck, the Healing Spirits Oracle, but that particular card is such a gorgeous message, pile one, because it speaks to us to remind ourselves that we're not just our mistakes. We're not just what we can grind out at a job. We're not just what we think we are on a material level. And then the two-faceted on the other side message of there's so much more to us when it comes to, what's the best way to put it, pile one? So just to reiterate or rephrase that a little bit, you know, there's much more to us than what we can just like grind out like a machine, okay, when it comes to the way our society works and producing things, right, in our economies, at our jobs. And there's also so much more to us than we think in terms of our self-confidence, in terms of what we think we're capable of. It's kind of what I was leading to. It took me a second, just kind of wend our way there, but yes. So maybe you've felt a little bit of lack of self-confidence lately, pile one. That seems to be what's coming forward from that card as well. And of course, as your guardian angels, they really want you to feel more protected, to feel like you can protect yourself more from these things that steal your energy, or feel like you don't have to completely pour yourself into one thing or give energy just to one thing and not another. You know, they want to help you strike more balance today is what they're saying. They want to help you feel like you can hold up a shield for yourself more too. Of course, they're there to protect you. That's their job. They're a guardian angel, right? But some of the best protection we can have, and the first line of protection that we have in our lives, pile one, is the shield that we can hold up ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to draw our tarot cards now, and this will kind of give us more nitty-gritty details as to the actual situation going on. Because some of you are probably like, well, it could be that maybe there's even multiple things like this going on. You're like, okay, well, what particular aspect are they talking about? And of course, to fit the theme of this week's readings, we're using the Yuletide Tarot. I'm very excited. It's actually the first time I've used it on a reading, so thanks for helping me break it in today, pile one. You're the first pile that gets to use the Yuletide Tarot, and I'm very excited. So, okay, well, I didn't even ask the question yet, but we'll take it. So we have the Six of Good Cheer, which is Cups. Six of Cups is the first card, okay? That maybe talks about past patterns, because the Six of Cups is about nostalgia, our past. Sometimes it can mean siblings or like family, early childhood lessons. Maybe you learn to neglect yourself a lot from childhood, and that's part of a life lesson, pile one. Angel, thank you so much for having that card come out. Could you please provide us maybe around 4 more cards that explains what's going on here that you want to talk to them about today? Thank you. Okay, number 2 is the Sun reversed, a lack of happiness, a lack of light, a lack of truth. Okay, so something is making you very unhappy, pile one. They're recognizing this. That's what they want to talk to you about today, is like, I see pile one's not happy because of this past problem, okay? And then the core card today is the King of Cups reversed. Yes, deep emotional dissatisfaction. Maybe you even feel like an inability to express yourself. Sometimes that's the way the King of Cups reversed can manifest, right? I'm also just going to look at it a bit closer here, because this deck has a lot of really cool symbolism that is good to tap into when you look closer. And specifically, he's pouring what looks like whiskey or some sort of alcoholic drink. But reversed. There could be some element of alcoholism here, not necessarily in yourself, pile one, maybe in someone involved in this situation. Okay, maybe it's the ability to say no to an addiction yourself, or your worry over someone else who is unable to say no to an addiction of some sort, okay, just because of the presence of the alcohol in that card, this being the core card of the reading. Let's glean more details before we say anything more. We have the King of Wands reversed, okay? Lack of confidence. We were just talking about that with your Oracle card over here. Feeling like we lack the ability to project our fire out there, our passion. Feeling like our fire is dulled. And then we have the Two of Wands, which is plans for the future. We have someone that looks like they're writing Christmas cards, I think it looks like. Or holiday cards in general for people around the year. So, yeah, very interesting. Lots of cups in this reading, pile one. Lots to do with our emotions and the way we feel. So what your guardian angels are saying here is that there's some element of your past that's making you unhappy because of the Six of Cups combined with the Sun reversed right next to it. And what it has been doing has been causing an emotional dissatisfaction, an inability to feel an emotional stability surrounding this issue because of the King of Cups being the reversed core card of the reading. Is like, I call it like the heart of the reading is probably a better way to put that. And what that is doing is leading for you to feel like you have an inability to feel confident in your plans for the future, combining the King of Wands reversed with the Two of Wands at the very end there as the outcome card, okay? It's like there's things that you want to get done, there's things that you want to propel forward with, but these particular past issues have been blocking you, okay? And like I said, that could mean a neglect of self in some way. That can mean, like we were saying, maybe there's, maybe you've been drinking a little bit more lately, like I said, because of the alcohol and the King of Cups reversed being the core heart card, right? Or maybe someone else's addictions or imbibing more than they should have been causing some issues lately. Maybe like a romantic partner has been, maybe not so good about withholding themselves from things lately, right? Or, someone you work with, maybe someone's slacking on the job because they come into work hungover every day, things like that. Or it can be an addiction of any sort, pile one. It doesn't have to be like alcohol. And it can be an addiction even to things that are not material, right? Sometimes people have addictions to certain emotional feelings, right? Maybe to like risk taking, or, an addiction to relationships, feeling like they need to gain security from being in a relationship, not really thinking about, well, am I really happy in a relationship, or am I just craving security? Things like that, pile one. So this might apply to each and every one of you a little bit differently, but in general here, that's what the guardian angel is saying is an issue from the past making you unhappy, leading to grand or great emotional dissatisfaction, which knocks your confidence in feeling like you can make plans for the future. If I had to summarize this tarot reading in exactly one sentence, okay? Just to summarize. And of course, we will draw more cards because as part of this reading, the most helpful thing would be to ask, okay, well, what advice do you have in this area, guardian angels? But and I'll really quickly to just reiterate over the oracle cards. It seems to be, especially because of the no angel that you picked was your pile leader, right? That being the one that you were drawn to most. It's like you wanting to say no to something, or you want someone else to say no to something to protect themselves more. You're worth more to, let's say, like for an example, say that you do have someone that you've been dealing with that has like an addiction issue, right? Part of the reason why you want them to say no to the addiction is because you want them to protect themselves, because you love them, right? And you're finding it difficult to find emotional satisfaction in that relationship, perhaps because it's like the addiction is overcoming everything that matters in the relationship. And that's what happens with addictions, right? Because they're an addiction just because that thing becomes more important to somebody than anything else in their life. That's why it becomes a dysfunctional thing, because it overrides everything else, like I said. And I think that's also why the cultivation, like neglecting versus nurturing, came into play. Because I even think of health too, because there is a heart in the background of that card from the Soul Mirror Oracle over here on the left. And like health might even be in question here, of course, with addictions. Like that's always a concern, right? Or even if it's something more intangible like an addiction to work, you actually can cause anxiety issues, pile one, if someone or you is addicted to work, right? You can cause yourself so much stress, you get heart palpitations. I've heard about it from people in my own life and online before, about just how much we put ourselves through the ringer for our jobs and other things in our life. So much stress just because we think we can't say no, or we feel like we can't say no, or someone else in your life feels like they can't say no to something, okay? And so that's what the guardian angel wants to help you break through today. Either it be something in yourself that you want to say no to, but you're having struggles with. Like say addiction is very hard to break. It's no easy street, right? No one that I've ever known that had an addiction issue got through it very easily. That's why it's an addiction, right? Or if it's someone else in your life that you're like, I want to help them get through it. This is your guardian angel reaching out and saying, I have advice for you on this matter. So I think what I'm really drawn to, pile one, is to first ask why this occurred. What is causing this? Because a lot of times in fixing something, it helps to really understand the why. Okay, so guardian angel coming forward for pile one today. Could you please provide some information on why is this an issue? Where did this stem from? Why did it start in the first place? Just to gain some more clarity with you 3 cards. Thank you. Why? So we have, okay, the 5 of Wands. Okay. 5 of Wands, it looks like. So that tells me something about competition with others. Once again, we have children involved. Like the 6 of Cups is about like childhood in the past. We'll see what else comes out before I say anything on that. We have the Knight of Wands reversed. Interesting. Lack of taking action on our passions. Escapism, maybe? And the Page of Wands. Okay, lots of wands. I mean, they're all wands. Okay. Very interesting. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Jesus. Throw everything I said just out the window. The candles are the wands. The canes are the swords. Okay. Reverse a little bit. I'm brand new to this deck, so apologize. These are swords. Okay, so you have a lot of swords, pile one. And the swords are all about air communication and the way we think about things. So, reverse. 5 of Swords is all about harsh conflicts, right? We have a kid here who knocked the other people's snowman down and stole their candy canes. Not a very nice kid, right? And then we have the Knight of Swords reversed, okay? Knight of Swords reversed is about a lack of taking action towards our the way we speak or think about things, or it can also mean going into things a little bit too foolhardy, too fast. And then we have the Page of Swords upright, which is needing to explore more with the way we logically think about things, or the way that we say things, the way that we communicate. So where did this stem from? I'm going to look over these for just a moment. Pile one. Now that I know that they're swords and not wands. Whoops. I should have associated with that because the 2 of candles, I mean, candles are flame and the wands are fire in tarot, right? Okay. Anyways, okay, so swords. Let's see. So there seems to be some sort of problem here stemming from like a lack of taking action when it comes to conflicts. it almost feels like one person involved is willing to explore the issue, and one person is just like, nah, I don't want to deal with it. Now, that could mean the person dealing with the problem of lacking of nurturing of self, or say addiction was the other example we used, right? And then the other person is just like, hey, let's just explore this over here with the page, right? Because the pages are, they're explorers, like they're students, they're apprentices. They're curious. That's their main identifying role, okay? Whereas the Knight is about taking action, right? But reversed, it's like, I'm not going to think about it. That's literally what the Knight of Swords reversed kind of means, right? I don't want to think about it, versus someone who says, let's explore this, and it's leading to fights, okay? And that, in being the source of what's causing the issue, that could mean it's like the cause of the issue right now in terms of the relationship conflict around this, okay? It can also mean that this is the past issues we were talking about with the Six of Cups, meaning like childhood, past nostalgia, things like that. Sometimes with siblings too. Maybe it's even a sibling that you're getting into these conflicts with, right? Where maybe there was one child when you were young and between you and your siblings who kind of caused a lot of conflict, and you had a parent that didn't really take action on trying to control that, things like that. Or you had one parent that was willing to explore it, but the other parent just is like, I don't want to think about it, right? And so it led to issues with your sibling because maybe it caused resentment of a lack of control, or maybe the sibling being cruel to other siblings involved, things like that. And yeah, and then thinking about it from the addiction perspective, pile one, it's almost like, yeah, I want to say, I'll reiterate, I said before, escapism. It's like an escapism of, I don't want to think about it, but it's creating conflict because it's a lack of curiosity of exploring how to get out. Like, I want to play with my passions. I want to play. I don't want to be in the harsh world. I want to play, but that leads to a lack of not wanting to think about it, causing conflict. So, pile one, if you're wondering if someone in your life has, like, an addiction problem, and you're like, why the heck did they even get into this problem in the first place? I'm going to say that it's escapism that caused it. Wanting to escape, which is very, very, very common with addictions in general, right? People want to forget, people want to leave, they don't want to think about things, right? Okay, but of course, the absolute zenith of the reading is the advice of how to fix this. What do your guardian angels want to say about how to fix it, right? So, guardian angels of pile one, could you please provide 3 cards of your best advice with their protection in mind about how to fix this issue that we discussed today? Oh my, that was fast. It's like 2 cards just flew out. Oh boy, okay, so, and then that's the third one. It just almost flew out itself, so we'll take those. So the first one is this one, and it was oriented this way, so I'm going to read it this way. And we have the Ace of Pentacles reversed. Okay, something about a lack of opportunity. And then the Page of Cups reversed. Lots of pages today. I don't know if there's been a lot of immaturity in the situation with, like, the other people involved or something, but pages tend to be, like, children, kind of the young of the suit. And then last but not least, we have the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, needing to work together. There we go. Okay, so pile one, if you're looking for a solution to the situation, and however it exactly applies to you, be it, self-addiction, someone else's addiction that's causing issues, lack of self-nurturing, that type of thing that we discussed so far. I won't repeat it all, but what your guardian angels are saying is, right now, there's a lack of opportunity to explore feelings around this situation, because the Page of Cups is an explorer of the emotions, but reversed, it's like, that's blocked right now, okay? And because of the 3 of Pentacles being on the right there, that's all about teamwork. To create that opportunity, there has to be work with someone else, okay? So for example, if you have someone that that's been struggling with some sort of issue like we discussed, That might mean getting someone else involved, maybe one of their family members who cares about them, right? To help I don't want to say pressure because that sounds negative, but to help encourage them towards getting to a better track in life, right? It can mean getting them actual outside help, okay, maybe rehab for something, depending on what the addiction is, or therapy, if that is available to you. I know sometimes it's hard to get a therapist nowadays. They're kind of booked up, and it's not always cheap, so of course I want to be cognizant of that, but maybe getting therapy for this person, or if it's like a self-issue, pile 1, same thing. You need help. You can't do this alone. I mean, you can try, and I know people can get over things alone, but what your guardian angel is saying is it is so much easier if you ask for help, as ashamed as you might feel. It might even be to the point of, like, maybe a more lighthearted addiction is like an addiction to work, okay? And maybe you need to ask for more help at work, more actual, like, literal teamwork, like we think of in a business setting, of course. But in either case, what it comes down to is you're burning yourself out too much with this, okay? It's burning out too much of you. And it's okay to ask for help when we feel like we can't handle things all alone. You don't have to do this all alone, pile 1. Or if this is someone else, they don't have to do this alone, okay? So far, like, if it is someone else and you've been trying to reach out and they're just not listening to you specifically, sometimes it helps to have even more people try to join and help convince them you need help, okay? Like, you need help to get over this because we care for you and we want what's best for you. Those types of messages, right? Of course, I'm not a, credential to help with, exactly like the process of how people help other people through addictions like this and other issues like this. But that's why I said maybe outside help would help with, like, rehab or a therapist, things like that, okay? So seek help. That is the main piece of advice from your guardian angels today on this. Seek help to create that opportunity to explore the emotions around this, because I think we did ask what caused this, right? But I think if that was explored in a more professional capacity, that would lead to more understanding of where this problem is coming from, and by understanding a problem, it's easier to fix it, right? So things like that. And I believe that is it for your reading today, pile 1. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope it helped you. I hope it resonated. If you liked it, if it did resonate, please like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our custom on the channel, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope to see you in the next reading, pile 1. Bye. Hello there, my lovely pile number 2. Welcome today to your pick a card reading that is a message from your guardian angels. Thank you so much for joining me today for day 1 of Yuletide Peace Week. And of course, as you recall, your pile leader today was Blessings and Abundance. Very gorgeous card. We see the angel holding energy and light between his hands, right in front of his heart. And I almost get a sense of gratefulness out of this. I know it technically says blessings and abundance, right? But there's a feeling of gratefulness. Very beautiful card. And of course, as is our tradition, we'll draw our oracle cards right away to set the tone for the reading. So angels, guardian angels coming forward for pile 2 today. Could you please provide me with the right cards to give the message that you want pile 2 to understand? Thank you. From the Soul Mirror Oracle today, your angel is giving you celebration, mournful versus joyous, celebrating things. We see a group of people together with the moon cycle in the background. Mourning versus joy. Very interesting. Don't know if maybe you lost someone or something recently, pile 2. Or maybe you had a celebration where it was the first year that someone wasn't there that was beloved to you. It's kind of the vibes I'm getting for some of you. Interesting. And then angel, same thing with this deck. Thank you. And then we have Beautiful. Number 27, your soul will find those you were meant to experience life with. Speaking about soul circles, soul families, people we were meant to live life with, to experience what we needed to learn. Yes. So pile 2, it seems today to me that right off the bat, your guardian angels want to talk to you about the way that you celebrate things and the way that you see blessings and abundance. Okay. Especially when it comes to other people or groups that you're in your life. As I was saying, I get the feeling that maybe there has been a sort of loss recently. I don't know if maybe you weren't able to celebrate holidays with people this year, or it could potentially be like you, as I was saying before, like you lost somebody that usually was at holidays. Maybe because they passed away, right? My condolences, pile 2. If that is the case, I'm in that boat myself this year, so I completely understand where you're coming from. And or it could have been a loss, not just in the way of death, but also a loss in the way of maybe like, you had a family fight and you were unable to celebrate with a family member because you were in a tiff, or maybe 2 other family members were in a tiff with each other, so it just caused this awkward tension that like ruined it for everybody, something like that. And so it's like they want to reach out and comfort you regarding these issues. Okay. And I think, and we'll draw some tarot cards to glean more nitty-gritty details on this pile too, but what they want to say, intuitively I can feel, is they're saying there's something that you shouldn't feel ashamed for, is what's coming forward for you. Like it's this sense of shame for some reason that they're trying to comfort. Something about this celebration or these holidays or the loss of this person you feel ashamed about, maybe like, especially if it was someone who has physically actually passed away, pile 2. There's sometimes can be shame around, did I do the right thing for them? Were they happy with what I did for them? Especially if you helped take care of them before they passed, right? Or you were close by at that time. And I think part of it too is they want to really hone in on what you were supposed to learn from that experience and what you were supposed to learn from that person in particular, be they passed away or maybe just currently not able to meet with you right now for whatever reason. Okay, maybe even just physical distance is the issue. And a message too of the gratefulness of the time that we do have with people, even though we know that in life there's nothing that is permanent, okay? And that's where blessings and abundance comes in, because the time we do have with others is a blessing. And a lot of times, and you learn this probably, the first time anyone that's important passes away, or you lose a friend, things like that. First person that's important to you specifically, I meant to say. You learn this because you realize time is a gift. Even if it wasn't always 100% happy, even if it wasn't always 100% smooth sailing, time is a blessing, and it's something that we shouldn't squander, okay? Because, like I said, nothing is permanent in this world. And so what the guardian angels are saying is they want you to feel not only grateful for that time that you had, despite maybe some of the bumps in the road, but also to appreciate what you taught that person and what they taught you. Okay, so that seems to be the theme setting for this particular reading. It's more of a life lesson related reading, more about guarding you and protecting you in the way of soothing some of your feelings and balming you from regrets or that shame I was talking about earlier, right? That guilt maybe is another word to use. Let's see if there's any other messages here before we draw some tarot cards. I'm also getting a message for some of you that there might have been resentment over what other people put into this person or what they did to this person that maybe caused some regret. Because there tends to be a lot of symbolism around groups of people, both in this card and then this card over here. There's a group of people like in a soul circle here, and then there's a group of people celebrating here. Looking at the eclipse here. And it's like, I don't know if they put this person down a lot and made them feel bad, or didn't listen to them. And maybe you felt you played a role in that and you feel guilty. Maybe that's where that shame is coming from, pile 2. Something along those lines. I also am just getting a very strong sense of mourning here. I mean, literally you have mourning here as part of your tagline for celebration, but deep inside, like empathically, what I'm feeling is a deep mourning, a soul wound. Okay, so this seems to have been something that was near and dear to you, or this person was, okay, before the fallout or before the physical separation of whatever kind that might be, for you specifically. That too, it might also be a message of, if this is somebody that passed away, pile 2, this is them also reaching out through your guardian angels. I'm feeling, or I'm hearing, that they were grateful for the time they had with you. Okay. Very grateful. That you were a blessing in some sort of way to them while they were here. So, okay. So let's draw some tarot cards, pile 2, to glean more details about the situation at hand. So guardian angels reaching forward for pile 2. Could you please provide us around 5 cards that will explain more about what's going on here? The inciting incident, the core issue, as well as the outcome of what's going on trajectory-wise. Thank you. And we're using the, very fittingly, Yuletide Tarot today. The first reading I'm using it for is the readings for today's video. So, 2, 3, and 5. So let's see what the guardian angels provided to us. Oopsie. So number 1, we have the King of Swords. King of Swords is all about the mastery of the way we speak or think. Eloquently tongued. Logical minded. We have the 2 of Swords reversed, unable to make a choice or a difficult choice to be made. Okay, number 3, we have the Queen of Wands reversed. So this is the core card, the heart card of what's going on. So I would say this manifests as a lack of confidence in something. I'm actually going to look at this a bit closer because this deck has some really, really cool details that you don't notice unless you look close. So she's wrapping a present before the fire. Very interesting. Feels like someone had to do something alone. And then we have the Knight of Cups reversed. Okay. Unable to take action on our feelings. And last but not least, we have the 3 of Cups reversed. A poor social situation or a poor group issue. So that's what I was talking about before about, I feel like there's like a community or a group going on here as part of the situation, pile 2. Same thing with this card that just came out. It's literally what it means. So let's look over these a bit closer for a moment. So I feel like the person that maybe you had the falling out with, pile 2, or that perhaps passed on, was masculine energy. I see that with the King of Swords at the very beginning as the inciting incident card. And that tends to speak of somebody who is someone who is intelligent or eloquently spoken. As I was saying when I first pulled it out, someone who is logical, someone who maybe did a job that required a lot of like logic, or even maybe like tech experience is another way, or engineering, STEM related fields. It's kind of how I see like a career within the sword suit. And there's some matter around not being able to make a choice, or having to make a really difficult choice with this person, either when it came to the separation, or when it came to if they did pass away, if that's how it applies to you, like a really difficult choice to be made. And that often happens, of course, when it comes to making decisions around life or death. Of course, those are never easy to make. And so what happened is the Heart card here with the Queen of Wands reversed in the middle is a lack of confidence, feeling insecure about something. Also, intuitively, when I looked at that card, it was like this person had to do something, feeling like they were kind of all alone. Like, oh man, this was all on my shoulders, and it was really hard to make that choice. I feel like I was doing everything. I feel like it could also mean burnout in some way. Maybe there was a burnout with this person. Okay, especially if there was caretaking involved. Like, caretakers get burned out very easily. To the fault of no one, but that's just how caring for others works. We pour out our own cup, and sometimes it gets a little bit empty, right? And then the Knight of Cups reversed is, lack of taking action with our feelings. Maybe we even kind of felt numb since it occurred, pile 2. Numb, lonely, not sure how to feel about it, not sure, kind of maybe a little lost a bit of your spark. And then yes, at the very end, the Three of Cups reversed is a lack of social cohesion, or a bad social event. Like I said, maybe you missed out on a holiday, or the person, if they passed on, missed out on a holiday, and it kind of ruined it for you because you're like, oh man, it just doesn't feel right when they're not here. Okay, or maybe there was something that happened at a social situation that kind of led to some bad feelings, right? Led to some bad feelings. Like I said, with that group element of even the 2 oracle cards that we drew earlier. Something to do with a group of some sort. So, obviously that can mean, a friend group. It can mean a family that kind of has gone awry with something. And it's like you just want to feel good again around this situation, which is easier said than done, especially if this was someone who passed on, right? Pile 2. Like, I just want to feel good again. I want to get back to the way it was, but it doesn't feel right when they're not here, or I feel ashamed around this situation, and I can't feel right because of it. It's like your own fire is kind of dying out a little bit regarding your enthusiasm for things, okay? Your enthusiasm for this social group, or this family, or this social situation event that occurred, right? So I think the best thing to do from here, pile 2, is to ask a few extra questions from these guardian angels. Because we kind of identified the situation and how you feel about it, right? Oopsie, I dropped one of the cards. One moment, I'm going to look under my desk and roll my chair back. I'm actually going to take that card because it did fall out. We have the 7 of Swords reversed. We'll talk about that in just a second. I'm also going to just straighten my desk a little bit here. So yes, the 7 of Swords reversed. I'm sorry, 7 of Wands reversed. It's candles. Okay, still getting used to this deck. So the 7 of Wands reversed is feeling like everybody's against me. Yeah, okay. Everybody is against me. I feel like a fool on a stage. And everyone just seems so put together, or they're targeting me and making me feel dumb. Yeah, there's almost like a social ostracization element to this pile too, as well. Very interesting. I feel like everybody's against me. I feel like I have to defend myself, and I just can't do it. Maybe some other people are making you feel ashamed about this too, pile 2. Which is very sad, but... So let's shuffle the cards here. Well, I didn't even ask a question for that one. The angels just kind of brought it forward, so... So angels, we're coming forward for pile 2. Excuse me, my voice is a bit scratchy today. I'm going to tune in with them intuitively for a moment. They keep saying something about to look into the shame. So can you give me 3 cards explaining more about the shame? Why are they ashamed, or what's going on with that, or like the truth? Okay, and this one for sure wanted to pop out first. So we have the 9 of Wands reversed. Okay, feeling like we're losing the battle. Losing our determination. Specifically, it's a card of someone who, they bought a lot of items, but there's a broken bag on one side and all the stuff is falling out. It's like, oh god, man, I feel like everything is just falling out. Like a falling out. Yeah, like literally pile 2. Like I was saying, maybe like you had a falling out with someone else if it wasn't, you know, like a death separation, a falling out. I feel bad about a falling out. 7, lots of 7s, wow. 7 of Swords reversed. Revealing a deception, revealing a trickery of some sort. Something was not what it seemed. And then we have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is about exploring our passions. Oh, excuse me, sorry, that was a loud noise. I moved my chair. So, pile 2. The shame or the guilt they said they wanted to draw on. So they're saying, yeah, there's something about feeling like being at the end of your tether with this, feeling like a lack of determination, a falling out literally here with this particular depiction of the 9 of Wands. And then the 7 of Swords in the middle reversed is like we have a figure here he stole items, right? But reversed, what it means is that someone got caught doing something. It's like a falling out because you caught someone. Maybe you pointed out something in that group of someone doing something sneaky and they just... Maybe like you misaccused, or you were right, but then it's like people didn't believe you, and they thought that you were being the deceptive one with this falling out. Same thing too, if this was more of a passed on loved one situation, it's like you maybe had a falling out with this person. And so you felt guilty about it because you felt like either you deceived them or they deceived you before they passed. And that was revealed. And then we have the Page of Wands at the end here, which is exploring our passions. Could have been a falling out over what they wanted to do in life, like career. Could have been a falling out regarding some sort of thing that you were both passionate about. And maybe the way that it was expressed was a bit immature, because the page can denote like a child, or like it's like the youthful energy of the court cards, right? So it's like the angels wanted me to explain more about the situation of like why you feel guilty. So that's what came out for that particular part of the reading. And then I think last question I've been asking for everybody today, pile 2, is the advice from them on how to really resolve this. Okay, now that might be resolved in different ways. For those of you, this is a passed on loved one. That could mean like how to kind of emotionally cope with the loss, right? Or if this is someone you just had a falling out with, but you're both still alive and healthy, right? It can mean like, well, how do we resolve this? So angels, okay, thank you. They're quick as a whip today. So the first card is the advice of the 3 of Swords reversed. Okay. Hesitating on going forward with plans. We'll see what else pops out. We have Death reversed. Okay, needing change. Change, okay. And the Queen of Cups, being in touch and following with our heart. All right. Someone who is good with emotions, someone who's good with feelings and relationships. Okay, so in terms of advice, pile 2, if you're wondering, how do I go forward from here? if this is someone who has passed on that you had regrets with. Let's read it for that first. So we have, Three of Swords. Reversed. Oh, I'm sorry, no. This deck trips me up a little bit because I always mess up the canes versus the swords. This is the Three of Swords reversed, and the Three of Swords reversed is about overcoming a sort of pain regarding a lack of change or needing to change. So, pile 2, if there's anything regarding this situation where you feel guilty when it comes to overcoming pain related to change, they're saying if you know it's right in your heart to not resist that change, okay? Don't resist the change at all. Because if you resist change, it will lead to more pain. If you go along with change and let it take its natural due course, that will help you overcome pain in this situation, okay? So some of you, that might mean if it feels right in your heart to let this person go after a falling out, then that is the change that needs to be done to overcome the pain, because sometimes people in our lives are very transitory. Pile 2, right? We're not friends with everybody forever. And hearkening back to your card over there about like soul circles and the lessons you're meant to learn from each other, right? It seems like it's possible that that particular relationship was meant to only occur for a certain amount of time in your life. And that was the lesson to be derived from it, okay? And so, in terms of your life lesson, it had that finite end, okay? If this is regarding a passing on of a loved one, like I said, it could mean basically like for you to embrace change when it comes to, like, for an example, like after someone passes away, it's very hard to maybe clean out their stuff, right? Especially if it's like a family member. And of course, you have the time that you need to be able to process those things. The guardian angels aren't saying for you to rush that if you need more time, but don't be afraid to let go of things. Like say, like I just think of like, for some reason I'm really drawn to the example of like cleaning out someone's house. Like if it was like, say, a parent that passed away, right? And there might be a fear of letting go of some of their stuff, even though necessarily you don't need it yourself, okay? Embrace change in that way, okay? They're just material things, is kind of what they're saying, right? Just in the end, above all, follow your own heart and listen to your own intuition when it comes to things that you do regarding making changes and things that you do regarding overcoming pain, okay? So it's kind of a multifaceted message depending on how this particularly applies to you, pile 2, but yeah. So, yeah, once again, pile 2, if this was someone that you lost, my deepest condolences. It is never easy to overcome. You know, as human beings, we love, and of course, though, we know the price of love is the pain of when we lose somebody, right? Or even if it wasn't a death, right? It can mean the pain of losing a friend that we had a falling out with, or a family member that we had a falling out with. And but in the end, above all, just remember that people are in our lives for a reason, and they're in our lives for a certain amount of time for a reason. And when things change, it's meant to be. So don't resist change. It's okay to let things go. It's okay to follow your own heart. Okay, so that's what I'll leave you with today, my wonderful pile 2. Thank you so much for tuning in. If the reading resonated with you, if you liked it, please like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition, thank you so much for joining me. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading, pile 2. Bye. Hello there, my lovely pile number 3. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about a guardian angel message for the first day of Yuletide Peace Week. As you recall, the angel you chose for your pile was the take a step back message. So he's holding energy before his heart, holding his hand up, denoting a time to wait, to pause. And even the elements around him almost seem icy. I think those are actually snowflakes around him a little bit. So we get the feeling of a pause of some sort. Take a step back. So I'm going to set this up here for your pile leader. And then we're going to draw 2 oracle cards to begin the reading, connecting with your guardian angels to see what they want to talk to you about today. So guardian angels for pile 3 collectively, can you please come forward with an oracle card from each of these decks that helps connect us to the message you want to be sent to them? Thank you. Okay, definitely that one wanted to pop out, so we'll take it. We have, oh, very cute. There's a little black cat. We have comfort, lost versus found. That is an adorable card. I have a cat that looks just like that, so of course I'm a bit biased when I say it's cute, but gorgeous. Okay, so that is the first card. Thank you, angels. And the second card. Feeling this one, we have number 3. You have the power to make yourself better. Okay, so pile 3, pretty straightforward. It seems like the type of message your guardian angels want to come forward with today is a theme all about taking care of yourself, comforting yourself, taking a pause out of the hectic hubbub, I guess is the best word, out of life. Okay, very fitting for this time of year because if you are watching this in December when it goes up, as you all know, that time of year is very, very, very busy for most of us, and it seems like maybe you've been a bit too stressed lately, maybe you've been a little bit too frazzled over things, and as your guardian angels, they want to step forward and comfort you, and of course, denoting from the term guardian, to protect yourself a little bit more when it comes to your energy. Okay. Maybe you've even been feeling like you don't have the energy for things lately. Maybe there's been something health related that's been sapping your energy. Or maybe it's just this year you're not feeling it when it comes to the holidays, or just in general. It doesn't have to be exactly holidays. It can mean, related to your family or your job, just day-to-day living type things. And what they're saying is it's in your power to regain that energy. And all it takes is you recognizing the need for, I'm just going to say it, and I say this a lot in my readings, but it's a message that I think in our modern hectic world we need to hear a lot. Taking time for self-care. Okay. So that seems to be the main theme today. Self-care. Pause. Make yourself feel better. Comfort yourself. And also them just wanting to comfort you. It's part of the message. Very beautiful. I'm going to do tap in intuitively here one moment. There's something about your gut health for some reason, too. I don't know if maybe you've been having, like, gastrointestinal issues lately, or stomach upset a lot. Or maybe you recently realized that there's some sort of stomach-related issue, or, like, intestinal type things. And I want to say it's almost stress-induced, and that's why, because, lately they have been finding in scientific endeavors in health sciences that our gut has a lot more impact on our mental health than we used to think, right? We used to think, oh, it's just the brain, right? It's just the brain controls all of that. Well, no, it turns out that our gut microbiome and our gut in general is almost like a second brain, okay? And when that gets upset, that can upset the balance of everything else in our body, just like any other organ or any other part of our body, right? And so there seems to be some sort of thing coming forward with paying attention to your gut health, okay? That or the issue is your gut health and you're wondering, like, why is this happening? Okay. So part of the reading might also be, and we'll glean this more with tarot cards in a moment here, them explaining what is causing the issue or how to fix it, right? So take a step back from something. 2, if you recently have lost something, pile 3, maybe you have lost a pet. Maybe specifically that's why this figure is holding a pet, and it talks about like lost versus found. They could be providing advice to you on how to find that pet if you've lost them, right? And that can be very heart-wrenching because, you know, I've lost a pet myself before. And there's almost like nothing more gut-wrenching in general than thinking about, oh my God, what happened to them? Are they okay? Are they safe? Because, you know, our pets are our loved ones as well. And they're saying something about that it's in your power, but just to take a step back. And then I think through the tarot cards, there will be like advice provided on how to go about that or what's going on in terms of the situation. So let's glean a little bit more. Let's get more nitty gritty. So angels for pile 3, could you provide around 5 tarot cards that explains more about the situation at hand? What's going on that you want to talk to them about beyond these themes? Okay, there's 1. And 5. And today we are using the very fitting Yuletide Tarot. First reading I've used it on, or at least video. So apologies if I'm still getting just a little bit used to this particular deck. I had some oopsies with the other piles, but hopefully we won't have any with you, pile 3. So the first card is the Holly King, which is the Emperor. Okay, masculinity, authority, control, power. Then we have the Krampus reversed, which is the Devil reversed. So releasing or freeing ourselves from the things that bind us, from things that hold us back. Lots of major arcana so far. Let's see what else. The 10 of Pentacles reversed. I'm going to just look at this a little bit closer because this deck is really cool. There's a lot of really cool deep details. So it's a whole family sitting together, enjoying Christmas, it looks like, together. And because of the meaning of the 10 of Pentacles, meaning legacy or inheritance, you know, it's almost like generations. Here we have the older figure, and then we have the father figure. So grandfather, father, and it looks like kids down here. Which is interesting, because we also have the father card and the Emperor that came out. Interesting. 4, we have the Queen of Cups reversed. So, something about our emotions as well. Our feelings. Queen of Cups reversed. Not feeling emotionally satisfied. I almost wonder if it's an issue with your father or family, pile 3. We'll see that in a moment. And then we have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is exploring the way that we think about something or the way we talk about something. So, one moment. Uno momento. You know, I almost wonder, pile 3, if there's somebody in your family that you feel like has been too controlling recently. Or maybe you have historically had issues with this person being a little bit controlling. I want to say it's a masculine figure because not only do you have the Emperor, which literally is like the dad card in tarot, right? But because of the symbolism of it being generations of men here in the 10 of Pentacles reversed. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a man, but it can mean someone of masculine energy. What I want to say for most of you, it is actually like a man involved. Or it could be like a man at your workplace who is a bit controlling, or a family member that's a bit controlling, and it's ruining almost your relationship with this person, or the relationship this person has with other people around you that are involved in this group of however you associate, be it family or like a workplace. Which is interesting because the reading earlier had a lot of self-care messages, as I was saying, taking care of yourself more. Maybe because there's like a feeling of, especially that Queen of Cups reversed, is almost like a feeling of needing to tamp down our emotions to please others. Pleasing this person, so lacking self-care and that you're not advocating for yourself. And then the Page of Swords at the very end, exploring the way we say things. Oh, I wonder if you're wondering how to talk to them about this issue. Pile 3. And you're almost wondering, do I even have the power to? And maybe you're considering talking to them and saying, hey, you're being too controlling. This issue is bad. But then the pile leader you were drawn to, the take a step back angel here in the middle, almost speaks to a moment of just wait, pause for a second. Pause before you do that. Because there's something more to the truth of this here, or some more advice that your guardian angels want to give you to say, hey, wait a minute. Let us give you a tool before you run off and do that thing. And or if you're the people that this applies to, maybe having lost a pet and you're trying to find a solution to finding them. It's like, I almost feel like you lost control of them. Maybe like their leash, or they just got out the door. And you're wondering, how do I find them? Especially that Page of Swords at the end is like exploring, how do we logically think about something, like thinking through, okay, so did I look here? Did I call them over here? Things like that. So, I'm going to draw some more cards for you, Pile 3. So, Guardian Angels, let's see, what's the best question to ask? One moment, Pile 3. I'm going to ask your guardian angels what I should ask next for this. So they keep saying how. All right. So I'm going to ask, how do they advise you address this person, or if it's a lost pet, how to go about finding that pet? 3 cards, thank you. Okay, that one wanted to come out. So a bit of a twofold pile today. We have some people that are having issues with controlling people, and some people that are like, where's my pet? So I will try to read for both to be fair to everybody today. So in terms of the how. So we have the Lovers, mistletoe. Very cute. Okay, maybe this is a romantic relationship with a masculine energy. But the Lovers can also mean just harmony in relationships in general, as well as sometimes it can actually mean a choice as well. Very interesting. We have the Queen of Wands. It's come out every single reading today, I think. Being confident in oneself, being charismatic in oneself, and the Page of Wands as well. Lots of wands. Interesting. Or no, that is wands. Okay, I'm still, like I said, I've made some oopsies with this deck today because I always mix up the candles with the canes because I want to think of canes as wands, but no, they're swords. So I was right. These are wands, the candles, because it's fire. Okay. So pile 3, in terms of the how. So for those of you that this is a situation where someone's being controlling and you're trying to take a step back and figure out, how do I address this with them? Okay. So number 1, I would say really focus on the areas where you and this person get along. What areas do you actually agree with them on? And same thing too with, especially with the Lovers being here, that's about harmony in relationships. Where do you harmonize with this person? Okay. Especially like if it's, say, like a work-related thing and someone's too controlling, and maybe they do it because they're, a lot of times people are controlling because they fear the unknown, and they fear the ability to control the outcome if they let go of some things to other people, right? Remind them of times that you've worked well together in the past, or where you worked well with other people if this is maybe the first time you're with this particular person, okay? And yet, like I said, things that you agree on, that kind of thing. Or if this is like a family member or like a dad figure we were talking about, that maybe is being a little bit too controlling in the situation or with the family. Once again, really just stand on where you do stand united. Where do you agree on things? Okay. And then the second emphasis here from your guardian angels is the Queen of Wands. Please, 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 please do not feel a lack of confidence when it comes to confronting or discussing things with this person, okay? your guardian angels are saying you should feel confident in what you're saying. You should feel like you have the right to say what you're saying, because the Queen of Wands is a figure that is all about feeling confident in oneself, okay? I mean, a Queen of Wands doesn't shy away from speaking her passions. She doesn't shy away from being bold, okay? She knows herself very well, and she's not afraid to let that shine, okay? And then the third piece of advice is the Page of Wands itself, too. Now, the Page of Wands is about, yes, exploring our passions. Because of the Queen and the Page both being present here, I almost want to say that maybe the dynamic is like a younger versus an older person, because the Queen speaks of almost a motherly figure, or older at least, and then the Page is like a child or a youth. That's kind of the energy of it within the court suit of tarot. And I mean, maybe it's part of it is like the issue of someone's like, oh man, well, I can't challenge them because they have the authority over me. But they're saying, don't fear authority. Don't fear that. And two, I mean, they're even wearing like the same nightgown in the pictures. Like they're a family member. It's like a mother and a daughter, or like sharing uniforms. I think of like people in the same workplace, maybe on the same level. But like one is acting like they have more authority than the other person, even though they're on technically supposed to be sharing things equally or on the same level. Really bring forward your ideas passionately, pile 3. Speak from a place of passion and energy, rather than a place of insecurity and fear, okay? That's how I would summarize everything with both the Queen and the Page of Wands having come out as your advice. Now, speaking for the other group of people in this reading, that maybe this is like a lost pet, okay? Definitely rely on other people to help you when it comes to the Lovers over here on the left with the mistletoe. That's about harmony and relationships with others, like I've explained for the other interpretation of this particular pile. And additionally, I feel like there is a feminine figure that's going to help you find this pet. It's like a mother and a daughter that maybe found this pet or saw your pet if they're missing. And so, and I think it was the child that saw the pet and the mother didn't, but the child told the mother about it and said, hey, wait a minute, what is that, like that cat or that dog doing? Or maybe they brought the pet home like the child did, and then the mother just kind of either like kept the pet and just didn't bring it to the pound or whatever, just to find who the owner was or the police department, etc. But like, there's a way. I'm going to draw just one more card for those of you who are in the pet group in this particular reading. Guardian angels for the people who maybe lost a pet. Can you give me one more card on that of advice? Can you explain the Lovers a little bit more in that situation? It's like they made a choice to keep the pet. Then we have the List. Okay, the List, which is number 20, which I believe is Judgment. Yes, Judgment. Level up. Interesting. Yes, Judgment, because literally making his list, checking it twice, gonna find out who was naughty or nice. So, interesting. A list written down somewhere. Written down somewhere. Pile 3, for those of you who lost a pet, is it possible for you to check social media to see if anyone, maybe specifically a mother-daughter, came forward and said, hey, we found this pet. Does this belong to anyone in the neighborhood? I know there is, I think it was the app called like Nextdoor. I don't use it myself, but I've heard about it. Or like a local Facebook page for your town. There's something along those lines where like it's written down somewhere. because they were trying to find... I think the child wanted to keep it, but then the mother finally paid attention and was like, hey, wait a minute. Hey, wait, we gotta at least announce this, and then if no one comes forward to claim the pet, then we'll keep it. So if you come forward after seeing that, you'd be able to get your pet back, I think. And specifically because I asked it to describe the lovers. It's like, they're saying something about relying on someone else to reach out to these people too. I don't know if you're in a romantic coupling right now, pile 3, but maybe coming forward to claim the pet together would help. Or there's something about like maybe your partner is someone who finds the list, the social media posting about, oh, we found this pet, who does this belong to? There's something to do with a relationship here that's involved with the list. So that is the advice they would give you on finding that pet. For those of you, this is like a pet finding reading, okay? And yes, my condolences for losing your pet. Like I said, I love animals. I love cats specifically. Well, I love every animal, but like I said, I've lost a cat myself before, and I know how heart-wrenching that is to just lose a pet in general. So I hope that you do find them, pile 3. For those of you, this is a pet-related reading, okay? And then, too, in the beginning of the reading, we also talked about self-care. So there's kind of a multifaceted reading for you. And I almost want to say that their advice in that area when it comes to the how, reinterpreting for that particular part of the message as well, is to be willing to explore your hobbies more. So self-care in terms of your passions, right? You know, painting, writing, singing, music, things like that, whatever really sparks your joy. And also self-care when it comes to relationships, making sure that you're not pouring yourself too much into relationships, and also spending time on yourself. It's good to serve your partner to an extent, right? You want to be a good partner, you want to be loving, and you want to be caring. But at the same time, you also have to think about, yourself as an individual within that relationship, pile 3, okay? Or 2, even with your family. Like if maybe family's been kind of burning you out a little bit, you've had to do a lot for your family, perhaps. Think about who you are as an individual rather than as a part of a group when it comes to questions of self-care, okay? So a very interesting reading, pile 3. So it's very kind of almost like, I want to say all over the board, because there was just so many like multifaceted things that came through. It just kind of seems like a jack of all trades reading. And then of course we had, some of you were about like a lost pet, and some of you were all about like someone in a family that was kind of controlling, okay? So I think I will ask just one last question with one last card, pile 3. I'm gonna do something extra special for you, so don't tell the other piles today. But guardian angels for pile 3. Could you give us a little glimpse into a blessing coming their way, just with one card, a little tiny thing that they're not expecting? Because I think that would be okay. Well, that was quick. So we have the 7 of good cheer or cups reversed. So pile 3, a blessing coming your way. Just a little final tidbit of the reading. So there's something coming regarding... intuitively what's coming forward, it's like there's something where you thought you could only go one path or get one thing, and you get both. Like, you're like, I can only follow this dream, or I can only buy this one thing, but I want 2 things. And then all of a sudden, it's like both fall into your lap. Very interesting. So that could even mean like literally holiday gifts, right? Or it could literally mean something to do with your ambitions, your dreams. So keep an eye out for that, pile 3. That's just a little extra treat I gave you for your pile today, because I kind of feel bad that your reading was just all over the place, but... hey, if it resonated, it resonated. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. Self-care. Condolences to those of you who lost a pet. I think you'll find them if you look online. And be confident for those of you where this was a reading about confronting someone who is controlling, okay? And standing on similar ground, where do you agree? Okay, so that's what I'll leave you with today, my wonderful pile 3. Thank you so much for tuning in to the day 1 of Yuletide Peace Week. If you liked the reading, if it resonated, please like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on the channel, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, filled with finding pets, stopping controlling people and self-care in general. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye.